last whistleblower, and I'm gonna make him introduce himself. So this is the last whistleblower. We get to the last portion, which is why expose it now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Congressman, Congresswoman. I want to first thank you for the invitation to speak to the committee on the UAP topic that's been in the news for the past 6 years and seems to be continuing to gain momentum.
And his name is Fravor.
Yeah.
As you know, my name is David Fravor. I'm a retired commander in the United States Navy. In 2004, I was a commanding officer of Strike Fighter Squadron 41, the world famous Black Aces.
Listen to the credentials and then listen to what they are claiming.
We are attached to Carrier Airwing 11 stationed on board the USS Nimitz and have begun a 2-month workout cycle off the coast of California. On this day, we were scheduled for a 2v2 air-to-air training with the USS Princeton as our control. When we launched off Nimitz, my wingman was joining up. We were told that the training was going to be suspended and we were going to proceed with real-world tasking. As we proceeded to the west, the air controller was counting down the range to an object that we were going to, and we were unaware of what we were going to see when we arrived. The controller told us that these objects had been observed for over 2 weeks, coming down from over 80,000 feet, rapidly descending to 20,000 feet, hanging out for hours, and then going straight back up. For those who don't realize, above 80,000 feet is space. We arrived at the location at approximately...
He said, realize anything above 80,000 feet is space. He says, coming to our atmosphere, you're going above 80,000 feet, coming back.
Now,
what travels like that?
Now understand that. Stop before you play it again. Remember when we first started off and we was talking about them 3 strobe lights that we seen in the air, and I said it looked like something was on top and them lights was being projected down. What if what we were seeing was not, since we now know this information, 8,000, what if the lights wasn't in our atmosphere and the ship wasn't 8,000, wasn't high above?
That's why we couldn't see the
That's why we couldn't see the thing coming down. That's why we couldn't see nothing where it was coming from. Maybe
20,000 feet, the controller called merge plot, which means that our radar blip was now in the same resolution cell as the contact. As we looked around, we noticed that we saw some white water off our right side. It's important to note that the weather on this day was as close to perfect as you could ask for off the coast of San Diego. Clear skies, light winds, calm seas, no white caps from waves. So the white water stood out in a large blue ocean. All 4 of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down saw a white tic-tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping-pong ball. There were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any sign of visible control surfaces like wings. As we started clockwise towards the object, my Wizzo and I decided to go down and take a closer look at the other aircraft staying in high cover to observe both us and the tic-tac. We proceeded around the circle about 90 degrees from the start of our descent, and the object suddenly shifted its longitudinal axis, aligned it with my aircraft, and began to climb. We continued down another 270 degrees, nose low, where the tic-tac, or we consumed 270 degrees, and we went nose low to where the tic-tac would have been. Our altitude at this point was about 15,000 feet, and the tic-tac was about 12,000. As we pulled nose onto the object, within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingman, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also. We immediately turned back to see where the white water was at, and it was gone also. So as we started to turn back towards the east, the controller came up and said, "Sir, you're not going to believe this, but that thing is at your cap point, roughly 60 miles away in less than a minute. You can calculate the speed." We returned to Nimitz. We were taking off our gear. We were talking to one of my crews that was getting ready to launch. We mentioned it to him, and they went out and luckily got the video that you see, that 90-second video. What you don't see is the radar tape that was never released, and we don't know where it's at, of the active jamming that the object put on an APG-73 radar, and I can get into modes later if you're interested. What is shocking to us is that the incident was never investigated, none of my crew were ever questioned, tapes were never taken, and after a couple days it turned into a great story with friends. It wasn't until 2009 until Jay Stratton had contacted me to investigate. Unbeknownst to all, he was part of the ATIP program in the Pentagon led by Lou Elizondo. And there was an unofficial official report that came out that's now on the internet. Years later, I was contacted by the other pilot, Alex Dietrich, and asked if I'd been contacted, and I said no, but I'm willing to talk. I was contacted by Mr. Elizondo, and we talked for a short period of time, and he said we'd be in contact. A few weeks after that, I was made aware that Lou had left the Pentagon in protest and joined forces with Tom DeLonge, Chris Mellon, Steve Justice, and others to form Two Stars Academy, an organization that pressed the issue with leading industry experts and U.S. government officials. They worked with Leslie Keane, who is present today, Rob Blumenthal, and Helene Cooper to publish the articles in the New York Times 2017 New York Times. And it removed the stigma on the topic of UFOs, which is why we're here today.
Do you think the 3 whistleblowers will face any repercussion
They
for
can't.
exposing this.
No, they can't.
One stage already going through shit, niggas attacking.
Yeah.
I forgot that the gentleman in the middle.
Because it's gonna be too
The gentleman
Yeah, one person said it's already going through trouble, but you know why I said it can't? Because it's already it's been brought into the open, and now that it's in the open, it's gonna be hard. They turn up dead or something like that. That's not gonna happen.
I do that shit, but they can fuck their life up piece of piece.
I mean, they can never get no job again, probably, and shit like that. You know what I mean? Shit like they could fuck them up in the government.
I said any repercussions.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Or they just get away scot free, like they good.
I mean, if the repercussions means money and
I'm talking about any repercussions. I'm not talking about death.
Yes.
Do you think it's gonna be good? Like, okay, y'all snitching this?
No.
That's not the government out there.
No, but they mad. They gonna be mad, and they know they can't really do nothing at this moment.
People know their tactics a lot.
Right? People know their tactics.
What the fuck is that?
That's shit that they're designing.
It's just fine. That's just fine.
My nigga, look what they just said, and look what they. That's why your boy.
Well, tell me what you're looking at right now.
Lockheed Skunk Works, and it said next generation. See, these are the next.
U-2 morphed into a TR-X.
These are the next generation of ships. Now these niggas.
What's the website just in case you want to see?
Lockheed Skunk Works.
No, flightglobal.com.
Right now, this is their next.
Flightglobal.com.
These are the things that they.
Lockheed Skunk Works.
Now these are the things that they designed, brother. Look at this shit, brother. Look at this shit, brother. Now I done seen other shit on here. I'm looking for that one I seen, but that was in a magazine. I can't find the magazine at this point. But all these crazy crafts that we have had was all designed by them. All of these crafts, these were designed by them. They're the ones who designed the Tic Tac. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly said by my man Stephen Gray. He said that. You know what I'm saying?
But do I think the theory is supposed to face some repercussion? Hell yeah. Maybe money, blackball.
Blackball is, yeah.
The military credentials will be fucking fucked up. Their whole career be whacked. It will discreditably discharged and whole bunch of other shit. They make them not be able to get career houses and yeah. So they're gonna do something. They're gonna do something. But that's where you gotta give them credit. They got balls. Knowing that they might face repercussion or you will face repercussion, they still telling us the truth anyway, but
look at these shits, man.
So it's crazy.
Look at this one.
It's over. Like always like we run.
The next generation of crafts. Yeah, alright, man. So what else do you have?
They got way more shit than that.
Of course, that's
why
nothing.
they're showing us.
That's why they're showing us that.
Catch something. Why isn't this a bigger topic in pop culture right now? Why the fuck?
Irony of that is this, because you said something before, right, about the 85ers. That's a funny thing. And I think, you know why? I think it's because they control media. Why? Because if you watch the whole... If you watch the whole... If you watch the whole hearing, right? If you watch the whole hearing, they said 60% of the population of Americans believe in UFOs. No, 60% believe in UFOs, 40% believe the government is covering up. You understand? So that's a lot of people. That's almost the majority of the population who believe that this shit is real. So you beg to differ. Why isn't it more being pronounced all over?
People talk about everything in my life.
No, I don't think people.
I heard a lot of people talk about the Kim Kardashian taking her ass implants out. That's what I'm trying to say. That was recent. That's why I keep bringing that up.
Yeah, bro, because people are more.
I heard people talk about Kanye West spazzing out when he was spazzing out on Drink Champs a million times. But UFOs and the gentleman in the middle, I've got the gentleman. I'll put the names up in the episode so y'all know their names. I'll put the names in the description.
Because it's distractions, nigga.
But he said they find non-biologicals.
Yeah.
Multiple people find, that means non-humans.
Yeah.
So,
man, what happened right after?
Why is nobody giving a fuck?
What happened right after though? What's going on? They keep trying to track down.
I'm not gonna around that same time, get the kid, son passed.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. You know what I mean? Like, but there's a few things. Busta Rhymes was getting honored.
And all those are small. Those are the small nigga
still,
shit.
That's just all over my timelines.
The whole Trump hearings. I'm talking about for the intelligent people. Why the intelligent people ain't talking about it? The Trump hearings. The Maui fires. Whoa, nigga.
Who cares?
About the Maui fires? Half of Hawaii done fucking burned down. That's what I'm talking about. Almost up to 100. No, it's all over. That shit is all over. Over 100
How's
people
that all over, but the fucking aliens being here now all over?
That's my point. How did this fire just happen all over coincidence? You believe this fire happened in a coincidence?
The government burned that shit down.
I don't want to say that, man.
I don't say the government. Not the government.
I don't want to say that.
somebody, the
I
powers
don't believe
that
that. I
be,
don't believe that's coincidence.
the powers
I
that
don't
be.
believe
Let's
that's
just say this.
coincidence,
I'm
my
not saying
nigga.
like the government just it's a default word. But I'm saying this. It wasn't a natural fire. Let's say that.
I don't know, but I don't believe that. We just
I
had
know.
fires.
I believe.
We just
I
had
know for sure.
fires in Canada, fire in Maui. You know what I'm saying? Over 99 people dead. I seen what that place right there looked like. The shit looked like they dropped a bomb, nigga. No trees, no houses, everything burned down. They're still looking for bodies. I asked myself, how did this happen? When my son who's 9 could ask me, yo daddy, how this happened and how does another fire after there was a fire in Canada? You guys, it's 9-year-olds questioning that. How the adults can question be like, wait a minute, we just had a fire in Canada. Now there's a fire in Maui? But there's so much, and then there's so much things going on that's important. But there's a lot of distractions. You know what I'm saying? Right around the same time, y'all indicted Trump. In Atlanta, Georgia, he was indicted again. He had to turn himself in today. You know what I'm saying? But all around this time now, you got the UFO hearings. Joe Biden and them, they investigating Joe Biden. They investigating Joe Biden's son. But no talks of that. No talks of the aliens. Only talks of Trump and the Maui fire and the things they want to distract you with from that things. Personally, I believe.
If you want to be honest, I believe
Joe Biden's the devil.
If you want to be honest, I believe that this hearing they just had is literally the most important hearing in history.
And had it a long time.
I think it's the most important hearing, especially if it's legit.
And I believe this too.
Hearing in the history of human race.
And I believe this too.
And nobody gives a fuck about it.
Yeah, and I have my qualms about presidents, and I have my qualms about any president being a good president. But I can tell you this is one of the biggest hearings that we've ever had, and I believe if you keep deep and digger into these UFOs, it will lead you to why John Kennedy was assassinated. I believe all of it ties in. I believe when he made that speech talking about we have to do something about the big military industrial complex. He's talking about the same people right now who's covering up these UFOs. What did he find out?
Find something. They definitely lacked him.
What did he find out? Because he said that in his last speech. Besides saying the stuff about secret societies, which is the same big military industrial complex, he said that it's secretly controlling the government. And what did they say in the hearings? How many times did the congressmen and them said that they have ordered the Pentagon to see where the money is going, and the Pentagon never answers the audit. Even the Congress said if this was a regular me and you, we would have been in jail already. But the Pentagon isn't. Over, they say $20 billion, and don't quote me on that, is missing of American money, taxpayers' money that the Pentagon has not accounted for. Where's that money going? To them black up projects, building them UFOs, funding it to private companies like Lockheed Skunk Work and them to build these crafts. For what purpose, I don't know.
Why isn't...
Maybe for the benefit of humanity and the benefit of all of us.
I hope so.
I would hope so.
I wish. Why isn't this a bigger topic in pop culture right now? I'm going to keep it real with you, bro.